Some people are going to be kingfishers and turtles and skinks.
This is a platypus. We're going to put them on our head and we're going to dance. The return of the Kingfisher Festival, it's a big festival, and so we're going to be doing this and dancing around with them to celebrate the festival.
Kingfishers, how they're coming back.
When it first started, about 16 or 15 years ago, it was dumped.
And they didn't like it, so when they cleaned it up, all the kingfisher returned to the place. When it was all clean, all the trees were planted.
So we have a festival to welcome back the kingfishers.
Have your eyes on the leaders because they'll look out for danger. And off you go.
Okay, so these kids are representing the short-finned eels who are indigenous to the Merri Creek. They live in the creek and they travel out right round through the Port Phillip Bay and swim up to the Coral Sea, and then they breed and mate, and then the little tiny elvers swim all the way back down again and up the Yarra and up the Merri Creek back to where they first began. So they're extraordinary creatures.
And then you come to a clump in the middle because you see a kingfisher. Okay, so it's like danger, you're treading water, what are we going to do?
The Spenceley Street live on the creek. They integrate Kingfisher Festival into their whole curriculum, so it's a really important part of their environmental program and their arts program, and really every subject they link Kingfisher into.
Are they eelheads? Are they for the Kingfisher Festival? This is the eelhead, just and we're eel in the Kingfisher. Yeah, and this is what the eels look like.
You know, Kingfisher is about community participation and having everyone part of the ritual. So it's not so much as a performance as a ritual. So everyone has a turn to stomp the earth and swim on the creek and have their turn.
So what's it like being eels? Yeah?
It's quite fun. It's really fun.
We, the Wurundjeri, are the traditional owners or custodians of this land. By offering you a gum leaf tonight, we believe that makes you welcome from everything to the tops of the trees to the roots of the earth. And tonight, you have joined with us to honour our ancestors who have nurtured this land for many, many thousands of years. And we, as the traditional custodians of this land, offer you a hearty welcome. Wanwinjika, Yemen, Kundibik, Wurundjeri Palik, which simply means welcome to the land of the Wurundjeri people.
The Merri Creek flows free. Sacred kingfishers, pollywonk frogs, short-finned eels, long-necked tortoises and skinks thrive in their abundant home alongside the traditional caretakers, the Wurundjeri.
are protectors of place.
Adjusting your legs horizontal, like that. Okay? So we're mixing up the yellow. This is Wurundjeri. We're doing this the same as Wurundjeri people. Okay? And putting that on with a stick like that. The white Wurundjeri people living in the mountain country. Okay? Kids from this area here, this is their traditional country now. They're Australian natives. We're Indigenous natives. So we're portraying Australian Indigenous native themes with Australian native kids.
People kind of kill us, like there's a man on the phone and he's...
Well, we're doing a dance and then we're going to go put like mud on us or something and then we're going to go back and we're going to die.
Since white settlement, Melbourne was settled in 1838, and look, by 1860 there was a heap of manure going into it, so it had turned from what was described as a clear, pellucid stream into basically an open sewer.
Kingfishers leave.
The rejuvenating power of fire inspires us to learn from this land, plant trees and bring nature back to the city.
It's only in the last 10 or 20 years that the general public's really begun to appreciate the value of our river environs and begun to see them as a resource rather than something that is just like a tip that you chuck everything in.
Then these little kingfishers come over and they kind of lift us up. They lift our spirit up and we go to the mother kingfisher and she brings our spirit to heaven.
To the Aboriginal heaven, which is called Tundabalak.
And so, after years of hard work,
the creek and her creatures are gradually coming back to life.
Kingfisher Festival never ever pretends that the work has been done and that we can rest on our laurels now because the Kingfisher has come back. There is enormous work to be done. What the Kingfisher Festival does is remind people about that, remind people about the beauty of our planet and the earth, and remind people about that their contribution to that and their input into that is vital for the kingfishers to be here and for the creek to continue the restoration process that needs to keep happening and keep evolving.
I'd like to just see it spread up the creek like a Jeff Kennett freeway instead of a Jeff Kennett freeway, if you know what I mean. Riparian corridors, water corridors right throughout Melbourne, linking up along the Maribyrnong, along the Merri Creek, along the Yarra, so that people can move through these veins of the city, public green spaces.
There was some children and teachers working up in a classroom at CERES, and they heard this big thud on the window of CERES and went running around to see what it was, and a little bird had flown into it that was stunned. They picked it up, and lo and behold, it was a kingfisher. It was a sacred kingfisher, which was a bird that hadn't been seen around the inner suburbs of Melbourne for a very, very long time. So after a while, the little bird recovered and off it flew again. But it proved to everybody here at CERES and to the wider community that the work that was being done by environmentalists and groups and communities and individuals to restore the creek to its original habitat was actually working, and that the results were becoming very evident because the kingfishers were returning. And it was worth a celebration, it was worth a party, and here we are partying away today for the 7th time to celebrate that fact.